Hi and welcome to the FullTime15 Podcast, where we'll be previewing match week 18. I will be previewing it since Lyle is away on vacation again, leaving me stranded. But we'll see if we will manage without his expertise. So we actually do have a game on Friday night already, which is the day of recording. A lovely little clash on Old Trafford, Manchester United, Newcastle. And one away win I think it is for Newcastle in the last 8 tries for them. Manchester United have several players out due to various reasons. Have the Africa Cup of Nations. Injuries and so forth. So with that being said, I don't really know what to make of the game, but Manchester United are looking really, really thin coming into this game. So it's for me it's going to be a big Newcastle win. 3-0 Newcastle, why not, at Old Trafford, stirring things around a little bit. Lyle predicts a 2-2 draw for this one. And moving on to the Saturday lunch kickoff, we've got Nottingham, Manchester City at City Ground. And Nottingham are doing quite well under Sean Dyche at the moment, and it's a tricky way. It's a tricky place to go for any team, really. And as a Gooner, I'm trying to find something, for Nottingham here. A little upset maybe. So 1-1 for me actually. And when I'm looking at Lyle's prediction, he went for 1-1 as well. So it's not really, within our little group, it's not really, a surprise and upset anymore. But 1-1 for both of us then. So hopefully we'll get that one right. Then afterwards, Arsenal playing at 3 p.m. That's local time. And they are hosting Brighton at the Emirates. And the last time these two teams played at the Emirates, Declan Rice gave the referee an opportunity to actually send him off, and that one took it. So that was some big talks going around, with the corruption, the inconsistency with the referees, and all of that. So hopefully the referee won't be center of attention this time out. John Brooks being the one in charge. Don't know too much about him. Haven't really looked at his statistics coming into this game, but hopefully it will just be a decent game, where we won't be talking about the referee afterwards, because that always indicates that it's been a bad game for the referee, basically. And Brighton doesn't seem to be good enough. Hopefully they won't be this afternoon either. Haven't won in the last 4 outings actually. With that being said, a 2-0 win for me. Lyle also predicts a 2-0, so that's fun. Moving on then to Brentford Bournemouth, shall we? Staying in London for a bit. Bournemouth actually haven't won since I think it is October 26th, and so tomorrow that will be over 2 months without win for Bournemouth. And I don't know what to make of that. Iraola, will he manage Bournemouth after the summer 2026? I'm not too sure. Is he fed up with it? Maybe is he just I don't know. They are really out of form, but people, it doesn't seem to be so much talk about actually, and there's a crisis flying under the radar for me. Brentford also not in top form, but they do have a decent home record, and with that, together with Bournemouth actually being in horrendous form, and Semenyo now talking about going to Manchester City already in January, maybe. That might cause some instability within the group. So I think a good bet would be going all in on Brentford actually tomorrow. So a 3-1 win for me, for Brentford, and Lyle predicts a 2-1. So it's different anyway, but yeah, it's a Brentford win for both of us. It's quite likely actually. Moving on then to Burnley, Everton, and on paper, and Everton obviously is quite likely, but Burnley away, that could always, in a weird way, cause concerns for any team. I remember like 20 years ago, when people were playing Stoke away, for instance, that it didn't really matter which, in which type of form they, Stoke had. It was always about the travel up to Stoke. That always caused concerns for any team, and you could describe Burnley this season as like a Stoke City light, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, Burnley with a huge point away to Bournemouth last time out, and a vital point for them in their chasing West Ham and Nottingham being just above them, and especially Nottingham being out of the relegation zone, and Nottingham and Leeds are the two teams Burnley really have to catch up on. So a big point for them away to Bournemouth last time, and with that, coming into this game, I'm going for a 1-0 Burnley win, because it's I don't know, it's just fun to go against the grain a little bit. But then I looked at Lyle's prediction as well, and he went for a 2-1 win for Burnley. So, oh bloody hell, might be a Burnley win then, after all. Moving on then. Sorry for doing this quite quickly. It's like a sorry, not really sorry situation. But yeah, Liverpool-Wolverhampton, a big win for Liverpool is needed, for them at least. And I think they are going to get it too. There's just too much between the two sides. And 4-1 cruise win for me. Wolverhampton to take the lead though, causing a little scare there at Anfield. Just for a bit of fun actually. But yeah, so yeah, Lyle is going for 4-0, so that's similar enough. After that it actually kicks off at the same time, but it's a London derby, West Ham Fulham, and it's a London derby that we don't really have much on. And I believe it's getting overlooked, considering all the other clashes on the weekend that we have in front of us now. But that being said, I this could well turn out to be like a free 4-4 game or whatever, because it's the Premier League, that's what the Premier League does to you, But no, it's for me. I'm just gonna go with a 0-0. That's what my gut is telling me. So I won't I won't argue with that. So Lyle also predicting a draw here, 1-1 though. So similar enough there as well. We'll see what happens. Right, so Saturday not Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, I should say. Saturday evening, 5:30, local time kickoff. So one for little nugget there to finish off the Saturday. Chelsea Aston Villa. And I saw somewhere a 4.10 on Aston Villa, on the decimal system, on the betting market, and I would be all over that. Even though they might not win, even though if they don't get the win, it's still a really, really good value for your money there. Just it's a bettable odds. So yeah, you should look into that if you want to. I want to say it's a must win for both teams. Chelsea not to slip further behind, and Villa to keep, to really keep challenging the top two, there being Arsenal and Manchester City at the moment. With that being said, a hard one, really, really hard one to predict. Value seems, as I said, to be on Aston Villa, but a 2-2 draw for me. Because that would be the most beneficial for Arsenal. I think. Hopefully 2-2 draw for me, and Lyle predicts 2-1 win for Chelsea. So so he actually predicts a stop now and end for Aston Villa's winning streak that they have, smashing a couple of records. Right, moving on to the Sunday then. We've got Sunderland Leeds at 2 p.m. local time. And beforehand, it's quite interesting, if you're into football and the Premier League, on paper, if you're going to tell anybody, if you're going to go ahead and promote this game to someone who's not into football, it wouldn't be the easiest task, I think, because there's not much football to be played, I think, at the Stadium of Light on Sunday. Hopefully a little bit of raining too, because then we'll get that proper December Premier League clash. And if you look at the game as such, on paper, Sunderland Leeds, the majority, I think, would prefer the rain just pissing it down, because that's the way it is. Jokes aside, Sunderland missing players due to the Africa Cup of Nations, and Leeds, they might benefit from that. Their form, actually, Leeds' form is actually flying under the radar a little bit. They've had a couple of tough clashes and really, on paper, really hard a couple of weeks, in terms of their opposition, but they've managed ever so well. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin, we've mentioned this in podcast before as well, that he's just hitting from fucking nowhere. So a couple of things actually speaking for Leeds coming into this one. But Sunderland at the Stadium of Light as well. It's a tough task this season. So a 1-1 draw for me. Lyle predicts a 3-1 win for Sunderland. And then to finish off the Sunday and finish off the match week, if that being match week 18, as I said, it's another London derby. Crystal Palace versus Tottenham, and I think actually it's going to be yet another thrashing for Tottenham to endure. I predict it'll be a similar game to what they did and what they had to their game away at Nottingham, finishing 3-0, just a proper thrashing from Nottingham there. So Tottenham, again, not good enough, and we'll see what happens with Frank there, their manager. more and more people are leaning towards wanting him out, I think, and I'm not too sure that's the way to go actually, but it seems to be the Tottenham way to go. And if that's what they want to do, then by all means go ahead, because it seems like it hasn't worked out too well for them, and long may that continue. Perhaps for Crystal Palace, perhaps playing in the League Cup, that being against Arsenal on the 23rd of December. Now for them to be now that they have played, in midweek in the League Cup, that could actually be beneficial for them. Keeping the legs going, not resting actually, and sometimes just keeping the pace up, and not really resting. That could actually turn out to be beneficial, and we've seen that before as well. And I think this is going to be one of those situations. So as I said, it's going to be similar to the Nottingham Tottenham game. So it's a 3-0 Crystal Palace win for me. Lyle predicts a 3-1 for me. Not for me, for the game. So obviously Tottenham lost again. Yeah. So that's it for the preview. And I'm sorry, this is an alternative to what we usually do, but that's just Lyle's fault this time. So whatever you want to do, just follow, subscribe, comment, whatever. As long as you do something, we'll be super duper grateful. And until Sunday, have a good weekend. Talk then. Bye bye.